The Wanarra Dragons of Osse are among the most ancient and powerful creatures that roam this vast mystical continent. Unlike their chromatic, metallic or gem dragon counterparts, these serpentine beings do not follow familiar draconic archetypes. They do not serve cosmic forces of good or evil, nor do they hoard treasure or seek dominion over mortals. Instead, the Wanarra are deeply tied to Osse's unique geography and spiritual essence, acting as elemental and spiritual guardians of the land itself. Their very existence is a manifestation of the Dreamtime, a realm that weaves through both the physical and metaphysical aspects of life in Osse. The Dreamtime is an intrinsic part of Osse's identity, a vast spiritual realm where time, space, and the forces of creation mingle and interact. For the Aboriginal Auslanders, humans and demi-humans, the Dreamtime is both a mythic origin and an ongoing reality. The Wanarra dragons are considered living embodiments of this realm. Their long, sinewy bodies shimmer in the muted tones of Osse's rugged terrain, their scales a reflection of the land itself, burnt reds of the desert, deep browns of the cliffs, the sandy ochre of the endless plains. Unlike many other dragons, the Wanarra's wings are not the grand, leathery appendages that dominate the skies of Faerun, but rather smaller, frilled limbs used primarily for displays of intimidation, ritual. Though physically imposing, the Wanarra's true power lies in their elemental and psychic abilities, which reflect their deep connection to the Dreamtime and the forces of nature. Their breath weapon is not fire or lightning, but rather a devastating superheating of the air around them. This attack rapidly rises the temperature in a vast area, incapacitating all living creatures caught within it. The heat is so intense that it overwhelms the senses, leaving enemies gasping for breath and physically unable to fight. At the same time, all flammable objects are instantly set alight, transforming dry vegetation or wooden structures into blazing infernos. This ability, while highly destructive, is used sparingly, as the Wanarra prefer to maintain the balance rather than wreak unnecessary devastation upon the land that they protect. Another of the Wanarra's formidable abilities is their mastery of Psionics, a rare and powerful form of mental magic. The Wanarra can project the consciousness of their enemies out of their physical bodies, forcing them to transition into the Dreamtime. For those unfamiliar with this ethereal realm, the transition is disorientating and perilous. Stripped of their physical form, enemies must contend with the strange and often hostile spirits and creatures that dwell within the Dreamtime, making it a dangerous place to be trapped. While their bodies remain in the material world, their spirits are effectively lost, unless they can find a way back, a nearly impossible task without the Wanarra's guidance. The Wanarra dragons are also masters of geomancy, the magic of manipulating the earth itself. This ability is not an inherent part of their nature, but rather a deeply learned craft passed down through millennia of ritual and study. Through powerful spells, the Wanarra can raise mountains, summon storms, or reshape the land itself to protect the balance of Osse. One of their most renowned spells, Make Mountain, allows a Wanarra to physically alter the landscape, raising towering peaks from flat plains or sinking entire areas into deep chasms. These geomantic powers are not easily wielded, and most mortal spellcasters would find them impossible to perform without the natural blood of a Wanarra to fuel the rituals. While the Wanarra are deeply connected to the land, they also serve as the primary guardians against an ancient and malevolent threat, the spider demons of the spider wastes. These demons are remnants of the conflict that predates even the rise of Lolth, a war between the cosmic forces of law and chaos, known as the Rod of Seven Parts War. Long ago, the Queen of Chaos, being so ancient and powerful that her true name has been erased from all records, waged war to dismantle the ordered structure of the multiverse. Her champion was Miska the Wolf Spider, a demon lord who served as her general, leading an army of chaotic forces in a bid to unmake the lawful gods and plunge the cosmos into chaos. Miska's army of spider demons played a pivotal role in this war, their chaotic nature reflecting the relentless, destructive will of their master. However, the forces of law triumphed when Miska was defeated by the Rod of Law, an artifact so powerful that it shattered upon impact, breaking into the Rod of Seven Parts. The shattering of the rod incapacitated Miska, leaving him a fractured husk, imprisoned in the abyss and bringing an end to the Queen of Chaos's dominion. Although Miska no longer walks the material plane, his vassals, the spider demons, remain eternally devoted to the impossible task of restoring their master. The spider demons of Osse though few in number, are driven by a singular obsession to revive Miska and to overthrow Demogorgon, who now rules the Abyss. From their stronghold in the Spider Wastes, a desolate region that no sane traveller would venture into, the spider demons conduct dark rituals and construct elaborate monuments to their fallen master. These demons are more than mindless agents of destruction. Their efforts are methodical, each action carefully designed to nudge the cosmic balance back in favour of chaos. Spider demons' rituals involve the use of blood, sand, mud, a gruesome material created from the blood of an ichor of their victims, mixed with the sands of the wastes. This mud is shaped into grotesque monuments that serve as altars to Miska and the Queen of Chaos. The structures are often adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes from the Rod of Seven Parts War, celebrating the victories over the forces of law and order. These monuments are not merely decorative. They act as conduits for chaotic energies that once sustained Miska's armies, such as the actual suffering of these cosmic beings of order, law and order when they were killed millennia ago, still echoing through time. The spider demons believe that by constructing these monuments and performing these rituals, they can amass enough chaotic power to break the chains that bind Miska in the Abyss. One of the most disturbing aspects of these monuments is the way they interact with the environment. The chaotic magic woven into their construction allows them to manipulate the winds and other natural forces, creating eerie, unnatural sounds that fill the air around them. These sounds, screams, whispers, and ghostly wails of tormented souls, haunt the areas near the spider demon strongholds, driving any who hear them mad with terror. The demons also string webs of demon slime and the entrails of their victims between the monuments, creating grotesque web patterns that only they can understand. These webs serve as both physical traps and spiritual snares, binding the souls of their victims into the chaotic energy that powers their dark rituals. The Wanarra dragons are the only true force capable of containing the spider demons. For centuries, they have patrolled the borders of the spider waste, using their geomantic powers to ensure that the demon forces do not spread beyond the desert. While the Wanarra cannot destroy the spider demons outright, their ability to manipulate the land allows them to control the demons' movements, reshaping the terrain to prevent them from escaping their prison. The Wanarra are also able to phase between the material plane and the Dreamtime, allowing them to monitor the spider demons from a distance, intervening when necessary to stop particularly dangerous rituals. Despite the Wanarra's vigilance, the demons occasionally manage to slip past their defences, venturing into the coastal regions of Osse to spread chaos and destruction. These excursions are only brief but devastating, leaving behind scarred landscapes and shattered minds. The spider demons are adept at corrupting the weak-willed, and their influence has spread to certain lizardfolk species that live near the spider wastes. The thorny lizardfolk, blue-tongued lizardfolk, and the goanna lizardfolk have all been corrupted by the chaotic energy of the spider demons and now serve as their loyal minions. The thorny lizardfolk, with their spiked armoured scales, act as brutal enforcers of the spider demons, raiding neighbouring tribes and taking captives to sacrifice in dark rituals. The blue-tongued lizardfolk, known for their venomous bite, have become adept at channeling chaotic energy in both battle and sacrifice, their venom now infused with demonic magic. And the goanna lizardfolk are the most cunning of the three, acting as spies and infiltrators, undermining the efforts of the uncorrupted lizardfolk tribes that seek to resist the spider demon's influence. The Wanarra dragons are well aware of the threat these corrupted lizardfolk pose. While the dragons have the power to devastate entire armies with their breath weapon or psionic abilities, they often prefer to use geomantic powers to isolate and contain the corrupted tribes. By reshaping the land around them, the Wanarra can prevent the spread of the spider demon's influence, cutting off their minions from reinforcements and supplies. However, the corrupted lizardfolk remain a constant threat to the uncorrupted tribes, launching raids and ambushes in an effort to weaken the Wanarra's control over the region. Despite their immense power, the Wanarra cannot be everywhere at once. The native Auslanders and marsupial folk who share the land with the lizardfolk are often caught in the crossfire of the battle between the Wanarra and spider demons. The uncorrupted lizardfolk tribes rely on the Wanarra for protection, but they must also defend themselves against the constant threat of raids from the corrupted kin. The presence of the spider demons has turned much of the central desert into a war zone, where the balance of power shifts with every battle. The spider demons, for their part, remain committed to their goal of resurrecting Miska and overthrowing Demogorgon. They continue their rituals in the spider wastes, building new monuments and performing dark rituals in the hope that one day they will amass enough power to free their master. While their ambitions are ultimately doomed to failure, their fanaticism makes them a relentless and dangerous foe. The Wanarra Knowing that the Spider Demon's plans can never fully succeed, remain ever vigilant, but their battle is one of attrition, a ceaseless struggle to maintain the balance between chaos and order. For more information on the stats for the Wanarra and the 3 different tribes of corrupted lizardfolk, please check out my Patreon, where I have stats and more information and exclusive posts for Patreon members, and also members of the channel will have access to the Gluminati section of my Discord server, where they get all that information as well. Thanks for listening. As always, my name is AJ Pickett. This is my real voice, and I'll be back with more for you very soon.